Hello Game Boys and Game Girls, I'm the Game Boy Guru and welcome to another overdue pickups video. As with my last one, this is quite overdue, but sometimes that's just how I roll because I record these when it works for me and when it's convenient. So anyway, let's dive right in and look at a few things that I've picked up over the course of July, August, and September, I believe. We'll start with, I went on a trip, I guess it's been 2 months ago, I think, almost three, and I went and saw a couple of concerts. I went and saw one concert one day, and then another concert the next day. And so while I was in the area and doing my thing, I stopped at a couple of places and I picked up a couple of games. And so one of the Game Boy games that I thought I had, but it didn't, is Power Mission. This is one that I didn't realize that I was lacking. A game that I was very excited to find at the same store was Action Fighter, because this is one that I see sometimes, but a lot of times it doesn't have the manual or it's beat up. And of course this one is complete and in very good shape. And so I was pleased to find this. This is sort of the Sega Master System answer to Spy Hunter, if you will. And so, yeah, that was pretty cool to find. A couple of additional games I picked up at the same store. Lego Avengers, Lego Marvel Adventures, I should say. I believe this is now this was the only Lego game I think I had left to buy on the Wii U. The only exception to that would be maybe getting the large Lego Dimensions set. I have a copy of Lego Dimensions, but I don't have any of the figures or any of the stuff that goes with it. And so, barring getting the large set, this is the last standalone game that I was missing. I also picked up the Smurfs 2. And this is interesting. Apparently you can play as 5 players. Smurf it up with 5 players only on Wii U. And so I haven't seen either of these new CG Smurf movies, but obviously this was one that I needed for the collection. And a game that initially on the Wii U became very expensive once it went out of print. Since the subsequent Switch release, this has gone down in price quite a bit. It's still more than I would normally pay, but I now am the proud owner, I guess you could say, of Hello Kitty Cruisers for the Wii U. And so I'm inching closer to the full set of Wii U North American releases. There's still a couple that are going to hurt, but yeah. And at a different store that I went to, I picked up a complete copy of Streets of Rage 3. This has a sticker on the front. There will be a charge, a $10 charge for not returning instructions. So this would have been a rental copy at some point, but it is in fact a complete copy. And so, hey, I'll take it. Yeah, and you can see the cartridge does have a little barcode sticker on it, so you can kind of see. And it looks like this was from Video Kingdom, which used to be a thing in my area many, many moons ago. Man, I haven't thought about Video Kingdom in years. But there you have it. A couple of games that I picked up, that I got in the mail here not too long ago. One of them I was planning on buying at some point, but then when I walked into GameStop and saw that they were selling the game, I thought, yeah, I'll throw them a bone and asked them if they had a copy. They didn't, but said they could order one and have it shipped to me. And that is the physical version of the Nintendo Switch and PC shmup Risk System. I do believe this is on other consoles as well, but when I saw they were selling the Switch version, I thought, yeah, I'll grab that. And so this has been out on PC for a while and digitally on consoles for a while, but VG and Ysoft has done a physical release, of course, and so that is one that I definitely wanted to have. And certificate of physicality. I like that. That's a nice touch. So that was one that that I was definitely looking forward to getting at some point. As you know, I love my shmups, so I had to grab that. And speaking of which, I also bought or pre-ordered rather, the Kyoku Tiger Heli compilation. I already had the Switch version of this, the Japanese Switch physical, but I went ahead and got the limited run version as well for PS4 because I'm a dork. And I enjoy this stuff, so why not? So there you go. And of course, as with all the limited run releases, they have cool stuff there. There's the disc. Kind of came loose in shipping, it appears. Not necessarily a reversible cover, but a nice inlay there. And a little color playing guide, as it's called on the front there. It's a manual, if you will. Well, some nice art there. Oh, and even some concept art or some art for Get Star. A little bit of modern take on the idea. But yeah, the cool thing about this is that it does include all the DLC on the disc, which means it has not only the arcade versions of Kyoku Tiger and Tiger Heli, but also the Twin Cobra version, and then it has the Famicom, PC Engine, Mega Drive versions of Q Tiger, the Famicom/NES version of Tiger Heli, and the arcade game Get Star, which was the bonus game that would have been DLC for the original release of the game. You could either buy the DLC if you bought the digital version of the game, or if you bought the physical version, it might have come with a download card with a code. And so, anyway, definitely wanted to have that. Speaking of other shmups, this is one that we had been waiting for quite some time, and this is normally the thing that I would end the episode with, but there's more to come. And so that is Gunvein for the Nintendo Switch. This, of course, was the 2023 Focus Shot game for my podcast. I've already put a considerable amount of time into the game, although I've played it probably more on Steam than on Switch. But I did put a good amount of time on the Switch version playing handheld because of the fact that the Switch version had the exclusive handheld difficulty or mode. And so I was doing a lot of that. Let's break this bad boy open and I'll show it off. Assuming I can break into the plastic here. And so this is 1,441 out of 1,500. They did sell through relatively quickly. but I do enjoy these releases. So let's see, what do we have inside? We've got some cool stuff here. Welcome to Gunvein. Little art card there. Shoot them up with a boss there. Lock on lasers, charge your weapons, bombs, and hyper to overwhelm the enemies. And Gunvein is a dynamic, aggression-based bullet hell shoot-'em-up. Indeed it is. There are also these stickers with the characters. But the real star of the show is, of course, the game itself. Now, I do already own this digitally on the Switch, but I have had a little bit of wonkiness with digital purchases being available on both of my Switch consoles. One example is this past year when I went to play Breath of the Wild on my new OLED. It played fine because I have the physical game, but it would not download or authenticate the DLC. So I don't know what's up with that, but yeah, there is the physical Switch version of Gunvein for the Nintendo Switch, and of course, nice inlay art and a little bit of a instruction booklet here. See what that looks like. Ah, yes, gives you some info on your weapons, how to use the hyper, bomb fragments, which is a pretty important component. Information about the different stages, and then talking about the different modes in the game. Yeah, so anyway, very glad to have that. And of course, I had to buy the limited edition because it came with the soundtrack. And I'm a sucker for video game soundtracks on CD, particularly those of the shoot-'em-up variety, as I have mentioned on here many times. So there you go. There is your basic packaging. Soundtrack by Xemia, of course. There's your inlay. The CD itself, sporting the same basic art as the cover. And it does look like this. Oops. Comes out here. Oh, nice. Picture of Xemia. That's pretty cool. And a little bit of background. Oh, that's pretty cool. So yeah, Gunvein. This is, of course, going into the office room next door, so I can rip the soundtrack on my computer and put the disc in with my CD collection. This display box will go up on the shelf, and the game will go on the shelf as well, so I can pull that out when I want to fire this up. So yeah, Gunvein, good stuff. Now, as I said, normally that would be the thing that I would show off last because it's a shmup, special edition or limited edition or whatever. But I kind of did something big a couple, 3 months ago, and so I thought I would show that off. I'm not going to show the actual thing because it's hooked up, but I went and bought myself an Xbox One X. I've been kind of eyeing stuff at the pawn shop I like to go to for quite some time, and a little bit of a saga with this because I bought the console, and of course it's a pawn shop, so they sell them as is. I took it home. It was filthy, and so I cleaned it up. And then by the time I finally got it cleaned up and to the point where I'm like, okay, I can touch this thing without feeling like I need to burn my hands off, I fired it up, got it to boot, everything, and got it set up. And then I went to put in a disc, and it won't read discs. It won't even pull discs in. You hear it trying to do that, but it wouldn't actually accomplish it. And I tried several games. I tried DVDs. I tried Blu-rays because the Xbox One series consoles will read those and play those. And so anyway, I took it back to the pawn shop and I told them the story, and I've done so much business over the years there that they were gracious enough to exchange it for me because they did have another one in stock, which came with this controller instead of the more basic one that they had. So I thought that was pretty cool because I like the look of that. But then when I bought the console, I also managed to get this bad boy. This is the Xbox One or Xbox Elite Series 2 controller, and this thing is a beast. This feels so good in my hands, and it really is the only controller that I've been using on this console so far because it's just so comfy and feels so good to play and to use. And actually, when I got it, it was complete. And so I was able to get the whole thing, which is great. It comes with this insane little carry case. So if you've never seen one of these, this is pretty wild. There's this little charging pad that you can use. You just plug into USB-C, and then you can set the controller, what is it, like that, I think. And then you set the controller on it like that, and there's the little charging posts that correspond to the little pads on the back. But then there's also a little tool for opening up the controller and extra stick caps if you want to change your analog sticks out with different caps. You know, here's this special thumb cap. There's also a traditional D-pad in here if you don't like this this other kind. I do like this other kind, and so I decided to stick with that. But yeah, that's the carry case. And then you also get documentation with it as well. And so just a really cool package. Oh, and then there's this, which is the USB-C cable that it comes with that I haven't been using because I already had some out, but this ridiculously long braided USB-C cable. So I will probably utilize that at some point. But that's pretty slick. So yeah, very cool and exciting to add a console to the collection because over time, you know, it's easy to become jaded about such things, especially when you've been collecting as long as I have. But I did actually enjoy, you know, getting this all set up and playing, kind of getting into the console. And I mean, it looks great. One of the things that I was trying to decide on is you can run it at 1080p, 1080p and 120 frames per second, or 1440p and 60. I tried both modes, and initially with the game I started playing, I thought that maybe the 1080p 120 was giving me motion sickness. But after changing it to 1440p 60, I think it might just be the motion in this particular game. So I'll have to try the 1080p 120 mode again with other games. But the 1440p looks really good on my 4K TV. So anyway, let's go over the games. The initial batch of games that I bought with the console include Geometry Wars 3 Dimensions Evolved. I already had this on the PS4, but man, this game is gorgeous. It just looks stunning. And this is going to be fun to mess around with. I already did play around with it a little bit when I was testing the console, and it's pretty sweet. So definitely one that will deserve some time. I got Gears of War Ultimate Edition, which is of course a upscale and re-release of the original game, which I enjoyed. Let's see here. Oh, I should fix the outer art on this. This is Ghost Recon Wildlands. I know Buddy was enjoying this one at one point. Fallout 4. We got Tom Clancy's The Division. Mirror's Edge Catalyst, which I believe is a prequel to the first game, if I remember correctly. Deus Ex Mankind Divided, the Day 1 edition, whatever that means. Probably just means that was the initial release of the game. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Call of Duty World War II. Batman Arkham Knight. Let's see here. Dishonored 2. And then Just Cause 3. And I don't have the case with me because it's the game that's actually in the Xbox One X at the moment. But I also bought Sunset Overdrive because I think every Xbox One console owner is at some point legally required to own a copy of Sunset Overdrive. And so actually that's what I'm playing right now. And that's what I was saying is I think maybe the motion, something with the motion in that game gives me a little bit of a queasy feeling. And so I'm kind of just playing it in short bursts. But it is a fun and interesting game. Batch 2 of games that I've picked up since then. Yeah, I went a little nuts. Some of these I bought at other stores. Some of these I got at the pawn shop again. I've just kind of been all over the place. And so, anyway, I bought Halo 5 Guardians. Been enjoying the Halo games, and so I picked that up. Got Gears of War 4. Also enjoyed the Gears series. Far Cry 4 Limited Edition. Titanfall 2. Got the BioShock Collection. And I've heard that this has some issues, so I'm curious. I mean, I played through all 3 BioShock games on the 360 and enjoyed them all. and so might be worth checking those out. Got Balan Wonderworld. This was not well reviewed, but a friend of mine swears by this game. And so, as cheap as it was, I figured I'd pick it up. This was one that I picked up at a pawn shop on my trip that I took. I got Recore, which I've heard good things about. Picked up a cheap copy of Jedi Fallen Order. And a very cheap copy of Dead Rising 3. Of course, I had to pick up Doom. I've already played through this on the Switch, but it'll be fun to play through that again at higher fidelity. And Dead Rising 4. Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Got the Halo Master Chief Collection. So looking forward to messing around with that. Especially because I played through when I played through the Halo games, I played through the first Halo on the 360, the Anniversary Edition. And then at the time, my original Xbox was not working. So I moved on to Halo 3 and then Reach and ODST, etc. So I played all those on the 360. But then when I got my Xbox working again, I went back and played Halo 2 on the original hardware. And so it was a little jarring doing that. And so it'll be fun to kind of play through it again in a remastered form. I picked up the 2 Ori games, Ori and the Blind Forest, and Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Also grabbed Destroy All Humans, G.I. Joe Operation Blackout, Evil Dead, the game, Battlefield 4, Quantum Break, and finally got me a copy of Far Cry 5. And that's not all, because I also picked up some additional games here recently on another trip that I went to, just a very short one. And so I picked up Far Cry 6. Got my first legitimate shmup on the console in Cinemora EX. I have the Switch version, but this one will look prettier, and so that'll be fun to compare when it's time to play those. Assassin's Creed Origins, Prey, Gears 5 or Gears of War 5, Battlefield 5, Battlefield 1, as if that wasn't already confusing, Battlefield Hardline, and Battlefield 2042. Oh, and on that trip I also picked up Tokitori 2 Plus for the PS4. But yeah, so I kind of dove in head first with the Xbox One X, and have picked up quite a few games. I'm not sure how many of these I'll play. Like I said, I'm kind of working my way slowly through Sunset Overdrive because the motion gives me that queasiness. So I'm not playing through it as quickly as I might otherwise. But yeah, I got a lot more in the last during the last period than I was planning on. And I've already picked up a few things in the current period that that we're in now, but I'll wait to show off that stuff until probably the first of the year. So anyway, quite a bit here, but how many of you were waiting for the Gunbane release? And how many of you picked up the M2 Toaplan Arcade Garage release of Kyoku Tiger Heli? Anybody else a big fan of the Xbox Elite series controllers? Because I gotta say, this thing is just outstanding. And as much as I enjoy, you know, some of the other pads that I've used, like the Nintendo Switch Pro controller and so forth, this thing just feels so good. And this is a new standard. This is definitely a new standard for modern controllers in terms of how they feel. I mean, it's weighty, it feels substantial, but it's not huge, and it's just so comfortable. So anyway, I gotta stop raving, but it's really good. So yeah, let me know what you think, and you know, which of these Xbox One games would you play, or have you played? Let me know in the comments, and maybe give me some suggestions on what I should try after I get done with Sunset Overdrive. So anyway, if you like this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. Also consider subscribing so you can see more of my videos in your YouTube feed. And as always, thank you for playing, thanks for watching, and game on.